On the closest surfing beach to Lahaina, the charred smell of the town that was burned in the August wildfires is still perceptible in the breeze. Here, beside the Pacific Ocean, a memorial is being held for one of the victims. Carol Hartley was killed in the blaze, and on the day that would have been her 61st birthday, her friends and relatives gathered to say goodbye.
She went back in to save somebody and didn't think of herself, and that's who Carol was. So although we might be feeling all of these things, the most thing we feel is love and compassion for one another.
As Maui now looks to the future, its sense of community will be fundamental to the rebuilding process. Lahaina native Kaipo Kekona is among those leading recovery efforts.
This is an old proverb that's ikawama mua, ikawama hope, or the answers to our future lie in the past. And if we could bring those practices back in and value those and understand those needs and practices to better the impacts of climate change.
Deadliest wildfire in over a century.
The Biden administration has pledged $95 million to strengthen Lahaina's electrical grid as it rebuilds, its aging state blamed in part for contributing to the disaster. But with the local economy dependent on tourists who may now not come, local government leaders argue Maui needs much more help from Washington.
We can put 100% of our efforts into the recovery, or we can put 100% of our efforts into hosting tourists. But if we try to do both, I don't think we'll do a good job at either. The tourists didn't only stay in West Maui, they went to all the areas and frequented all the businesses. And so the federal aid that needs to come is island-wide.
As the recovery process begins, the community sees opportunities to build back better.
You know, I was told a lot when growing up that Hawaii's going to change the world. Imagine if every property was built with solar power in that entire burn zone that we had. We would produce more power for our entire island just by rebuilding our town. I do say and believe that moving forward we can build this up better, you know.
As the memorial finishes, the mourners paddle out to sea to form a surf circle, a final act of farewell to one friend among many who lost their lives in the tragedy. A helicopter soars overhead and drops flower petals over the Pacific, caught by the wind and carried back towards Lahaina, flecks of hopeful colour over black ashes. Alasdair Baverstock, CGTN, Lahaina, Hawaii.